With the many activities and demands, today's student often falls prey to anxiety. We take a look at how those stresses can impact the mental health of adolescents.
Depression is kind of that thing that you can't really come back from it on your own. You need some help.
We sit down with Dr. Feuerbacher, Clinic Director of the SMU Center for Family Counseling, and talk about coping strategies for teens suffering from depression. Today, Thursday, September 17th, 2015.
From Prosper High School, this is Eagle Nation News with JT Graham, Ty Bowman, and Shazanae Hartman.
To another episode of Eagle Nation News. I'm JT Graham, and with me again are Jordyn Lewis and Ty Bowman. Now today we're going to tackle a more serious topic, adolescent anxiety. So let's jump right into it. I know for me personally, on the anxiety standpoint, I totally get that. For instance, on our normal week, and you football guys know this, we'll wake up at 5:30 to be on the field at 6:20 in the morning. After that, go through school. Then we have to do E&N. I mean, you guys know how crazy it can be sometimes. Yeah. Then after school, more football, and after that I have work, sometimes till 9 o'clock. So the overload part of it, I totally get. So I mean,
yeah, I understand, JT. With me though, it's kind of the opposite. I go to school and I go to friend's house, and that's kind of my safe place. I kind of never wanted to be home for a really long time. Like me and my dad, we didn't have the best relationship. I felt like he was always mad at me and that he was tearing me down, and so one day I just had to tell him, and luckily I'm blessed with a dad who will let me say what I need to say, so with that it just helped me a lot.
And see, that's what we're talking about today. I mean, I would never know that about you, and so that's what this show, like I said, it's all about, because you never know who's going through what.
Exactly.
I actually have a few members of my family that struggle with depression, and it's not at all what people think it is. If you were to ask me 2 years ago what's depression, I probably would have been like, oh, it's just being sad. But it's not, it's so much more. And the people that struggle with depression, it's not something they can just snap out of whenever they feel like it. It's uncontrollable, and they feel like they're drowning and they can't swim their way out of it.
Right, there's over 3 million cases of depression each year, and if you combine the stresses of adolescent life, whether it be school, family, or social, there can be some serious effects on the teenage mind.
Stressful to perform.
I tell myself every year that I'm gonna do easier classes, just lighten my load, and every year it turns out the same way.
I have 45 other people relying on me.
It's hard because I think a lot of times my friends think I'm blowing them off.
The pressure I put on myself is definitely the biggest problem that I have.
My mother and father get mad a lot because I'm not at home.
I'm exhausted.
Time's running out.
There's no getting around it.
I still don't know where I want to go or what I want to major in. So I want to be more than that.
We're not as good as we think we are.
If I don't get in, then it'll be all for nothing.
Sadly, I didn't meet my goal last year.
I want to have options when I go to college.
Everything has to be perfect. Well, my sister was very good, really successful. So sometimes it's a little bit of pressure trying to not necessarily beat her, but definitely live up to what she's already done.
Hardly ever I have any social time.
There's so many people who I love and I care about, and I would love to be, I'd love to go out and I'd love to hang out with them just because I think they're great and amazing people, but I just don't have time, and that hurts.
How many times can I say I'm studying before it's okay, well, she doesn't want to hang out?
I just have all the homework.
I can't even count, really. It's just so much.
The pressure is really high.
I just can't even imagine how much hard work, because you got some of the smartest people from around the country all competing to get that one spot.
A lot of times I just have to tell myself I'm almost done, even if I'm not.
Trying to scramble for the next day.
We spread ourselves too thin.
I want to be able to choose, so that's why I work so hard.
Just keep going until it's over.
Navigating the ups and downs of high school can be overwhelming. Long hours, demanding curriculum, and the pressure to achieve and be accepted can make the wasteland a difficult one to survive.
Depression is kind of that thing that you can't really come back from it on your own. You need some help. And so in the classroom, that might look like not just a feeling of being overwhelmed, but this immense weight that nothing alleviates. Sleep doesn't help, talking to friends doesn't help, things that maybe you once enjoyed don't help. Everything just seems like it's too much. Maybe taking a break and stepping back from things doesn't help. It doesn't mean that when all of those things happen, I don't think it means that it's depression, but when we do notice depression in students, often a lot of those things are true. Nothing at that point has helped.
Anxiety in adolescence is on the rise. A review of 19 studies conducted across 12 countries show that adolescents are experiencing more depression than they did a decade or more ago. But why? According to research, a variety of reasons can be the culprit, including an increase in stress at school and the constant connectivity to social media.
I think social media and cell phones don't allow kids to go home. I know, when my generation was younger, if you were being bullied at school and you handled it, you kind of had a safe place to be. But in today's society, with that constant voice of social media in your ear, you can't always escape the negative. You can't always go home.
Brian Kennedy, a teacher at Prosper High School, is currently working on a book to help children and teens address negative thinking by using techniques of cognitive behavior therapy.
This book that I wrote is called How to Tame Your Troll. It's a story of a boy named Jake, very confident kid. When he arrives on the bus, people begin to kind of make fun of him about things that really don't matter. The minute he gives over to those thoughts, that negative thinking, a little troll appears on his shoulder, and as he goes throughout the day and he begins to internalize the negative things that he hears about himself, the troll grows bigger and bigger until it's overwhelming every aspect. I think for kids with anxiety and depression, they begin to internalize those negative things, and it becomes overwhelming, and they don't know how to get out. This book is based on cognitive behavior therapy, which teaches thought stopping, and the idea that if I can confront those thoughts and I can stop them before they grow and internalize them, then I have a way out.
Anxiety, depression, and mental illness is vastly misunderstood in today's culture and carries with it a stigma that keeps many students from seeking help.
I felt so alone. I felt like I was drowning and everyone around me was just going on with their normal lives and I was just alone. But then I just completely broke down one day, and it's just really hard for me to talk about, but something happened, and then I realized that how many people cared about me. No one wants to say, no, I'm not okay, because no one wants sympathy. I never wanted sympathy. That's not what I wanted. The sadness was just addicting.
Pressure and workload may always be a part of student life, but there is support. Teachers, coaches, counselors, and parents can be a resource for students in trouble.
No matter what, the world is huge. There are so many people out there that feel the same way you are. You are not alone.
For Eagle Nation News, I'm Austin Garcia.
Welcome back. I'm here with an expert on teen depression, Dr. Sarah Feuerbacher, a professor at SMU. Thank you so much for being on, Professor. So first of all, I'd like to clear a misconception some people have about depression. Some people hear depression and they think, oh, this person just has a problem. They're just sad, they can fix it, when in fact it's a chemical imbalance, if I'm right, in the brain. So kind of clear that up for us.
Absolutely. So, I think that all of us now are able to look at the fact that someone who has cancer actually has a disease going on inside of them. And sure, something could trigger that. We know that smoking can trigger cancer, just like an event outside can trigger some sort of sadness. But just like that, there is actually a disease that changes inside of us, inside of our hearts, inside of our minds, and chemically our bodies become different. And then as we behave, we start to show different things when we're behaving.
And a person with depression, how do you catch it before it hits? Are there any warning signs?
Absolutely. So someone came in for counseling not too long ago for my clinic and came in for career counseling, and that's what they thought they wanted to work on. Long story to say that during counseling, they wrote these words on a baseball being very significant for them: unsuccessful, loser, not loved, hated, worthless, awkward, not wanted, lonely, ashamed, angry, alone. And those are significant feelings, right? And sometimes this is going on inside of our bodies and we can't even put a label like this young man did. He put a label to those feelings, but sometimes we can't even do that, and it comes out in warning signs like sleeping a lot or having trouble sleeping, eating a lot or having trouble eating, and you see someone losing a lot of weight. It could be just really having a lot of difficulty showing up to school or staying at school way too long. It could be a sense of extreme anger. Even though they're feeling hurt or pain inside, they're showing it through anger. And so all of that being said, insecurity, everything, basically it can be diagnosed if someone shows 5 symptoms or more across only a 2-week time period. And when you think about it, 2 weeks is nothing, right?
Absolutely.
I know if I were depressed, I probably wouldn't share it because I would think something's wrong with me, or I'm weak, or I'm just not like I'm not. I like feel it inside that I don't want to share it because I'm scared like people are gonna think less of me.
Absolutely.
So like, how wrong am I?
Well, the fact of the matter is that you're right in terms of that's the way that people feel. Whether it's depression or anxiety or anything, it's hard to share those things that we feel like something is wrong with us, right? But the very fact is that denial is the thing that keeps us from being able to fix what's going on inside. Just like if we had cancer, not being able to treat it and not telling someone our symptoms would keep us sick. And so that being said, denial either from our parents, from our teachers, from our coaches, from our friends, or from ourselves. I think that's the hardest thing when we're in denial of how we're feeling and it not being what we're used to feeling. So that being said, it's like G.I. Joe's old model, knowing is half the battle, right? As soon as you know and as soon as you can tell other people, then half the battle is already fought.
So let's talk about social media. You know, the people here at school, they're around a ton of people all the time. And when they go home, they think they can escape all those people, but the truth is they really can't because of those 400 followers they have on Instagram or Twitter. So how can social media impact depression?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I hate to say this, but I grew up without all of that, and it was already hard. You know, it was the gossiping and the cliques at school, but now when one thing goes wrong in y'all's lives, everyone in the whole school and the whole town and even in Japan knows about it, right? Because of social media, and it can make you feel so very much highlighted and at the same time so very alone, right? And so I think it exponentially can harm a person's feeling of being isolated and being alone. All of that being said, I think it's also a powerful tool. I think that it can do so much amazing good to help spread the word that young people are struggling. They have too much on their plates and they don't have a safe person or a safe place to talk to. And if you start to hear from somebody, hey, this is what I'm struggling with, then another person just very well may say, me too. People watching this today, I'm hoping, will say the exact same thing of, hey, I've really heard what you were saying, Ty, about being at home. I feel that way also. So I think that
exactly, because it's like I feel like people try to keep it in a box. You know, they feel like they're alone, and that's one of the reasons why we put this on today to show that you're not just by yourself. And say if I had depression and I didn't know where to turn to, where could I go?
Absolutely. So I think the very first place that you can turn to is a safe person in your life, whether that is a friend and having your friend go with you, whether it's a teacher, whether it is one of the school counselors here. I know that they have an abundance of resources that they could give you as referrals. I'll say I am blessed to work for SMU, not the one down in Dallas, but the one right down the road from you guys. It's SMU in Plano, and it's called the Center for Family Counseling. We offer sliding scale all the way down to free counseling for as long as you want. And I want to say that again, it's free counseling as long as you want. The really cool thing about it is you've got people that are, going through the program, learning to become a master of counseling professional, just like what Mr. Kennedy did, and they are so ready to help, and they've maybe even been there themselves, so they know what it's like.
It's so good to hear that you can really turn to people. Thank you so much for your time
Absolutely.
today.
Thank y'all for having me.
And coming up after this commercial break, we will give you the latest on what you need to know around campus.
On the pavement, in the dirt, bruised and bleeding, but never hurt. I know why you put us down. Think it's time you take a look around. 'Cause maybe the time has come to change. A new direction, a different way. We can make it if we try.
For anyone who is still trying to find their way around campus, looking for a club, or just wanting a place to hang out for a little while, mentors will be available for 30 minutes both before and after school in the library. They'll be happy to help you out and get connected to PHS.
NHS will have their first meeting of the year on September 24th. All current members should attend either the 7:35 a.m. or the 3:50 p.m. meeting. They will be nominating officers.
If anyone has any questions about their favorite college, the PHS College Fair will be hosting to over 90 colleges and universities. Faculty and students may wear your favorite college shirt.
Bowling tryouts will be on October 5th at 7 p.m. The parent meeting has been moved to September 21st at 5:30. Please visit Mrs. Winter in room 2017 for more information.
Eagle Spirit shirts are still available, including the American, Homecoming, and Blackout t-shirts. Forms can be found in the front office and they must be turned in by September 25th.
PHS will be on advisory schedule Friday, and as a senior privilege, all seniors will report to the cafeteria during the advisory period. There will be free fountain drinks and Miss Mayfield has provided her special cakes. Finally, only seniors may wear Nike shorts and hats on Friday.
All right, guys, that's all we got for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. For Eagle Nation News, I'm JT Graham.
I'm Jordyn Lewis.
And I'm Ty Bowman. Live long and prosper.